The Mindful Life Practice.
I'm gonna light some candles to get myself in this mood and this space. And we're gonna start our practice today in a child's pose. So if you want blanket or pillows or whatever, just get what you need. And then just support yourself in a way that allows you to drop into stillness. Kind of dropping into centeredness. Take some deep breaths in and out through the nose. So when I first started teaching on the MLP, which was now over 2 months ago, I think, actually started teaching about the 7 chakras. Set up this whole plan where I was going to go like day by day through the chakras. The 7 chakras. I think I thought that like the quarantine would be over by the end or something. Anyway, in going through all of the archives today, I was kind of reminded of this theme, and I thought it would be nice to revisit them. You know, our community has evolved and grown over this time, and many of the people that joined us might not necessarily have been with us since day one. And so tonight's practice is going to be all about the root chakra, Muladhara chakra. What the Muladhara chakra is about is support. Connection. Groundedness. It's our base, and its physical location is almost at the base of the torso, like near the pelvis. So we're going to move through a series of postures tonight. That target this part of the body. So as you rest here in your child's pose, just feel a sense of being held here by the earth.
this shape, this posture reflects almost like a fetal position.
And I find it especially grounding because I feel like you're almost curving inward and disconnecting from all the external stimulus. Like all the sounds, all the distractions. Just kind of turning inward. So maybe set an intention
For your practice around this theme. Like, I am safe. I am home. Maybe just I am anchored and connected to the earth.
We're going to stay here for just another minute, a few more rounds of breath. And then we're going to just peel our way up out of this child's pose. So the root chakra, it's physically located in our, like the base of our tailbone, near our pelvis. But it also kind of extends to the legs, the feet, all the part of your body that roots you. So we're going to move through some shapes that kind of target this part of your body. So the first we're going to do is just tuck our toes and sit our hips back, and we're going to get a little bit of a stretch in through the soles of the feet, okay? So if this is too much for you, you can always come back down and sit on the heels. But if you're okay here, we're going to stay with our toes tucked. We won't be here uber long, I promise. And then let's interlace our palms behind our back. And then just land your palms alongside your right hip. And then drop your right shoulder over toward your right ear, over towards your right shoulder. So I apologize, this is a bit more yin-like, isn't it, than restorative-like. But I think when we're talking about our roots, soles of our feet are super important. Right? The soles of our feet are what connect us to the ground beneath us. So when we talk about groundedness, we got to do something for the feet tonight. Just take one more breath. And then we're gonna switch that grip beside your left hip and then take the little stretch the opposite way. Just wanna mention something I've noticed about my feet since the quarantine started is that my feet actually feel a lot better every day because I'm walking barefoot, and when I do go outside, I'm wearing Birkenstocks, which are really supportive footwear, and I'm no longer wearing these like uncomfortable but fancy looking shoes for work. And I wonder if right now, while we're targeting the feet and we're stretching through the feet, if you have noticed anything like that in your own life. Maybe you're on your feet much less often now that you're at home, and maybe they're feeling better as a result. Maybe you don't notice any difference, just notice it. Let's take one more breath with this next stretch. And then you're gonna come all the way up, like lifting your head back up. And then just land your palms. And then you can do a little massage out for your feet. All right. Now, it wouldn't be a restorative or a yin class with me without doing some dangling. So we're gonna come into a dangling pose. Couple of options. You can take it just as neutral like this. Bending the knees a lot, gripping your palms to opposite elbows, letting your head go. Or if you want a bit more support, as we are talking about support in the root chakra, you can support yourself up with a piece of furniture, a couch, whatever. I have some questions for root chakra while we dangle here. Maybe you can think about, how do I nurture myself? I know for me, I've had this kind of epiphany in the last hour. Right before we turned into like a virtual complete, business with a website running, I was going to every single yoga class every day, and we had about 4 classes on the schedule at that point every day. And I kind of burnt myself out. I got really exhausted. I started to feel twangs in my back. And then in the effort to convert to a paid studio, I became so obsessed with working that I never had any time to do my practice, or I never made time for my practice with other teachers. And then my class with Mark tonight was probably my first class in maybe a week or a little bit more. Maybe even since May started, where I actually participated in the whole class with the instructor. And when I lay down for Shavasana, it was just like a huge kind of like, and I realized that, how do I nurture myself? Right? It's not going to be in the one extreme where I'm doing every single class every day. That's not sustainable. But also, if I'm doing no classes and I'm making no time for my own well-being, then that's not sustainable either. Right? And so
you can't pour from an empty cup, and you got to learn how to nurture yourself. In a way that sustains you through this time. God, I think I'm preaching to the choir, because you guys are all the ones here at Restorative Yoga. You know how important it is. What other ways do you nurture yourself? How do you support your well-being? Stay in this dangle for just 5 more breaths. And then slowly start to peel your way all the way up to stand, just rolling all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. And then let your body just kind of land in a Tadasana. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Posted something on Instagram the other day. It's like feel the ground beneath your feet. Holding you up. You thought you would take 5 more breaths in here. And I'm going to grab a couple of pillows. I realize I told you guys to get pillows, and then I didn't even get them. Luckily, they're not far. We're going to come into a hip opening shape of Alasana, or not Balasana, a butterfly. And I'm going to get a few pillows. I'm going to see how this feels for me. 2 might be enough. What you're going to do is come to sit near the edge of the pillows. Rest your soles of feet together. And then just lay your back body open on the pillows. If you want to take a blanket, go ahead. And I just had a brainwave of so I was talking earlier about how I came across the archives, and I've seen these yoga classes that I taught, 2 months ago online that I don't even remember teaching. That's how long ago it's been. And it's kind of crazy how long we've been in this quarantine, hey? But I was just thinking about Em, for example, Em who's here in this class. And her first classes that she did with MLP, she was in Kuwait. And then the world started changing and she had to fly back to Canada. And then she was quarantined for 2 weeks in a friend's house in a town where my dad lives. And then she had to drive, 9 or 10 hours or something crazy to get to her hometown because there were no domestic flights. And when you think about that, like how much has happened in this time that we've been practicing together, I don't know, for me, it just feels like Groundhog's Day a bit. Like I get up, I turn on the Zoom, we all see each other again. But really, so much time has passed. I mean, I don't know what that has to do with your root chakra anyway. But I certainly know that having this community and having these classes every day has been what has kept me grounded over these 2 months. It is what helped me feel connected and me feel supported. It has for some of you too. Maybe as you're laying here for the last minute or so of this pose, just wondering what keeps me grounded. What gives me stability? Take about 5 more rounds of breath. And just bring your body. Maybe you can just close the knees and just kind of roll off the pillows onto one side. Laying all the way back down. Just kind of letting your back return to neutral. Before we take our Shavasana, we'll just finish off with a short little spinal twist. So you can take your knees into your chest. Open your arms into cactus arms and just drop both knees over to the left, taking your gaze over to the right. You can always have a pillow underneath your knees or between them. While you're resting in this twist, I just have a poem for you. Abundance within Muladhara. Abundance is the recognition that we already have enough. Right? To cultivate the feeling of abundance in our life, we remember we are enough as we are. We have enough material possessions. Our relationships are enough. Our job is enough. We have done enough. We are good enough. We are beautiful enough. We know enough. We are precisely where we are meant to be. So just relax here. Put down the internal pressure that you place on yourself. Put down the need to improve what's already beautiful. Take the knees all the way up through center and then just drop them to the opposite side, taking your twist the opposite way. And maybe keeping this affirmation. All of my needs are met. Stay here for about 5 more rounds of breath. And then just come your way up out of it. Set yourself up for a final resting pose. So you could come out into a Shavasana. Maybe you want to go back to that grounded, rooted shape in child's pose. Maybe you want to come up into a seated meditation. It's up to you. Whatever shape helps you feel supported. Whatever shape helps you feel connected. Whatever shape helps you feel grounded. I'm going to make my way up to that seated meditation. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You are only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You're only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird, fly. Blackbird, fly into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly
all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. If you're lying on your back, just wiggle your way. If you're with me and seated, just stay with me and seated. Oh my God, I'm ready for bed. This is the best way to wind down before bed, in my opinion. Let's take our palms together at our heart center. Lengthen up through the spine. If you want to join for an Om sound, we're going to inhale and then exhale, and then inhale through to make an Om. Okay, so taking a breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Thank you for sharing the space and the practice. May we all be happy and healthy and free. Om Shanti 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 Peace. Namaste.
The Mindful Life Practice.